In the summer of 1943, a strange confidence swept through the ranks of the Wehrmacht's Panzer divisions on the eastern and western fronts. Crews of Tiger and Panther tanks, iron beasts weighing 57 tons and clad in armor up to 120 millimeters thick, regarded enemy anti-tank weapons with disdain. American soldiers carried strange tubular launchers that looked like toys, crude contraptions of steel pipe and wire. They called this thing a bazooka? One German gunner wrote in his diary after capturing a disabled specimen near Kasserine Pass. It is a child's firework, nothing more. Gefreiter Kurt Moeller, Panzer Regiment 8, February 1943, Unit Logbook. The laughter would not last. Within 2 years, the same soldiers would watch those toys tear open the flanks of their armored giants and turn fields of northern France into burning scrapyards. The paradox was brutal. The mightiest tanks of the Reich fell not to rival panzers or bomber squadrons, but to a shoulder-fired tube costing barely $20. The American M1A1 rocket launcher, later simply Bazooka, was born from desperation and improvisation, not the meticulous engineering that characterized German armament. Its designer, Colonel Leslie Skinner, combined a 6-pound, 2.36-inch rocket-propelled grenade with an open tube to vent exhaust. In late 1942, U.S. Ordnance approved field production. By spring of 1943, nearly 10,000 units per month rolled off assembly lines in Bridgeport, Connecticut, their parts cut from plumbing stock and aircraft-grade aluminum. Each launcher weighed only 13 pounds, fired an M6 rocket with a shaped charge capable of penetrating 76 millimeters of armor, barely enough at first to menace early Panzer IIIs or IVs. Against the Tiger I, with its 100-millimeter frontal armor plate forged at Hinchel's Castle plant, the first bazookas were useless. The Germans' laughter had data on their side. But war compresses innovation. In July 1943, reports from Sicily reached Allied command. Bazooka rounds were detonating too soon. Warheads failed to fuse at oblique angles, and operators risked burns from backblast. Engineers responded with the M6A1 rocket, boosting velocity to 82 meters per second and improving fusing reliability by 40%. Production ramped up to 60,000 rounds per week by December. The change coincided with the Allied shift toward mass infantry armor coordination. By the Normandy invasion, June 6, 1944, over 475,000 bazookas had been produced, one for roughly every 2 American infantrymen deployed overseas. The Germans encountered the new weapon first among the hedgerows near Carentan. The Tiger's Maybach HL-230 engine, a 700-horsepower marvel that could propel 57 tons at 38 kilometers per hour, was helpless when immobilized by terrain. In one engagement, on June 10, 1944, elements of the U.S. 30th Infantry ambushed a Tiger column from the 2nd SS Panzer Division, Das Reich. Sergeant Charles Bailey's squad fired from 20 yards. The first rocket struck the turret ring, the weakest point, and ignited the ammunition rack. A roar like a furnace opened, Bailey wrote later. The tank lifted, split open like a crushed can. Sergeant Charles Bailey, 30th Infantry Regiment Journal, June 12, 1944. The shaped charge's copper cone, melting into a plasma jet at 4,000 degrees Celsius, had sliced through what German engineers once called invincible steel.
The physics were mercilessly efficient. The bazooka's shaped charge didn't rely on velocity, but on chemical energy. 1 pound of cyclonite-based explosive collapsing a metal liner into a supersonic jet of molten metal. Penetration wasn't brute force, it was precision chemistry. The Tiger's armor, homogeneous rolled plate hardened to 270 Brunel, failed at the turret seams and side skirts where plates overlapped unevenly. German engineers had designed the Tiger for duels with other tanks at 2,000 meters, not ambushes from infantry hiding in hedgerows. The Bazooka shifted that equation. A single soldier could now destroy a machine that required 300,000 man-hours to build. Yet not all went smoothly. Early Bazooka teams found themselves vulnerable. Firing created a bright exhaust signature, visible at night from half a mile away, and the 100-decibel backblast invited counterfire. American manuals warned, never fire twice from the same position. By August 1944, tactical adaptation spread. Pairs operated as mobile hunter teams, one firing while the other relocated. German countermeasures followed. Tiger crews welded spare track links along hull sides, adding 20 millimeters of spaced armor. Infantry units began carrying smoke grenades to screen tank flanks. Still, the psychological shift had begun. For the first time, German armor advanced cautiously, scanning not for tanks, but for men with tubes. The Bazooka's power wasn't just technical, it was logistical. Producing a Tiger I required 300,000 kilograms of steel, 6,000 kilograms of copper, and over 1,000 skilled labor hours per ton. A Bazooka, by contrast, used 50 times less metal and could be assembled by unskilled laborers in 2 hours. By 1944, America's industrial base was manufacturing nearly 2 million rockets per month. The economics were catastrophic for Germany. Every Tiger lost to a Bazooka represented a ratio of 15,000 to 1 in resource cost. Albert Speer noted grimly in a December 1944 production report, "Our armor superiority has been nullified by their simplicity." Speer, Armaments Ministry Memo, December 12, 1944. On the Eastern Front, German units learned faster. Reports from Army Group Center in late 1944 mentioned Soviet troops using captured American bazookas supplied through Lend-Lease. One German after-action report described the destruction of 3 Panthers near Minsk by portable tubes firing rockets of American design. Weemocht Field Report, 9th Army, August 1944. Ironically, the very weapon mocked by German crews had multiplied through their enemies' hands. In the freezing Ardennes that December, when the Battle of the Bulge erupted, bazookas met Tigers again, this time in forests under snowfall and fog. The 101st Airborne's defense of Bastogne turned into a showcase for man-portable anti-tank warfare. On December 23rd, Private Joe Paul fired an M9 bazooka at 30 yards, disabling a Tiger II, the so-called King Tiger, whose 180mm sloped front armor made it nearly invulnerable. His rocket struck the rear grille, penetrating into the engine compartment and setting off a fuel explosion. The tank burned for 6 hours, he recalled. We could feel the heat through the snow. The Tiger II's catastrophic loss ratio, 45% destroyed by infantry weapons, confirmed what Allied intelligence already knew. Power and armor no longer guaranteed survival. Technically, the bazooka remained imperfect. It struggled in rain, misfired in mud, and its effective range of 120 meters left users dangerously close to return fire. But the design philosophy, mobility over mass, accessibility over complexity, previewed the post-war age of portable anti-armor systems. The Germans themselves copied it as the Panzerschreck, 88mm Raketenpanzerbüchse 54, enlarging the caliber and adding a blast shield. Ironically, that weapon owed its existence to a captured bazooka found near Stalingrad in 1942. Even imitation couldn't reverse the tide. The Panzerschreck's heavier rockets required rare propellants, and by 1945, German production was crippled by bombing raids that cut magnesium and nitrocellulose supplies by 60%. When the war ended, captured German reports showed a grudging respect. One Panzer commander wrote, "The American tube has changed infantry combat entirely. It gives every soldier the power of artillery." Oberst Hans Fehler, Panzerlehr Division Debrief, May 1945, U.S. Army Archive. The bazooka had rewritten the doctrine that only machines could kill machines. In post-war analyses, U.S. Army historians calculated that portable anti-tank weapons accounted for 27% of all German tank losses on the Western Front, more than air power in certain sectors. The laughter that began in 1943 had turned into silent recognition by 1945. The German Tiger, masterpiece of engineering, symbolized the pinnacle of concentrated industrial might. The American bazooka, crude and disposable, symbolized something else: the victory of adaptability over perfection. Factories could outthink fortresses, chemistry could defeat metallurgy, and the humble infantryman could wield power once reserved for armored divisions. When the smoke cleared across Normandy and the Ardennes, the burned-out shells of Tigers lay beside the twisted tubes of bazookas, monuments to two philosophies of war colliding in steel and fire. In the end, the Tiger proved that brilliance without flexibility is brittle, while the bazooka proved that simplicity, multiplied 1,000,000 times, can burn an empire's pride to ash.